Okay, Carrie. So I'm going to ask you a bit of an odd question. It's going to feel weird answering it, but don't worry, we're going to get somewhere here. So it's called the miracle question. So imagine that you go to bed tonight, you've got these problems that you have and these issues that you have, and you wake up in the morning and all of your problems are solved. So if we could think about the problems that you're having, what would be different in the morning if all your problems were solved?
Okay. That's a very interesting thing to think about.
Yeah.
So I guess if a miracle happened and all my problems were solved, in the morning, I'd get word from Housing Commission that they've got a bigger house for us.
Yeah.
It's going to have all these rooms and we're going to have more space.
Yep.
And I'm going to be able to, sometimes be away from the rest of the family, not all be on top of each other.
Yeah. Perfect.
And I guess all the issues that I have with my husband would be resolved. We'd be getting along better.
Yep.
We'd be communicating better. And I think the big thing, if a miracle happened, is I would have friends again. Just people to go and spend time with, talk to. Just friends of my own.
Okay.
That would be
wonderful.
Really miraculous if that happened.
Yeah, that's right. Okay. So now that we've come up with some of the things that would be fixed and how they would be fixed, we need to think about the changes that we could make to get to those goals. So the things that you've just told me, the miracle, all of, bigger house, no more problems with your husband, you've got some more friends.
Yes.
What do you think some of the things that we can do would be to be able to reach those goals? So starting with the house, just off the top of your head, what are some of the things that you think that we could work towards to get you into a bigger house?
Well, I guess the phone call couldn't come from Housing Commission because we haven't actually applied for a bigger house.
Exactly.
So I guess, we could get in contact with them and see if that's a possibility. I hadn't even thought of that.
Sometimes putting, using this technique, and it puts it all into perspective. To come up with the end result, and then you can look back and think about what you can do to reach it.
Absolutely.
So that's a really good idea. So what I can do is I can actually help get you in contact with the Housing Commission people. And, I can work with you to start getting that ball rolling. To getting you into a bigger house.
That'd be great.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Okay, so your husband. You wake up, you everything's good with your husband, you're not fighting anymore, he's not getting angry with you, you're communicating better. How can we start moving to get closer to that goal?
Well, I guess obviously we can't do it on our own, or we'd have solved the problem already. So I guess we need outside help, maybe couples counselling.
Maybe some marriage counselling.
Because I think the problems are too big for us to deal with on our own. Like, we've tried, but it's not getting any better.
Okay.
We're always butting heads. And I think maybe a neutral person for us to talk to, and maybe who has some ideas for how to fix things would be helpful.
That's a really good idea. So I myself am a qualified marriage counsellor as well.
Good, yeah.
So, it might make you feel a little bit more comfortable coming and seeing somebody that you've already seen before, that you have a little bit of a rapport with. Now, for me to be able to be your marriage counsellor, it needs to be clear that I cannot be biased. So I have to be completely neutral between the two of you, and I'm basically there for mediation.
Yeah.
But it's a healthy way for you to be able to sit down and talk out everything and, you know, work through these problems. And it might not happen after the first session. You know, it might take a few sessions, but it's somewhere where you can talk about these things, so you don't have to take them home and talk about them there. You can talk them out here. It's the place where you can come, where that's when you talk about your problems.
Yeah.
And when you go home without those problems, and if more problems arise, then you bring them to the next session, and that's when you talk about them. It's a good way to be able to talk about them without getting heated with each other. And it's a, you know, a safe environment for it to happen. So how does that sound? Does that sound like something that you'd be willing to try?
Yeah, definitely.
And what about your husband? How do you think he would feel about it?
Hopefully he'd be open to it. I think he knows that there's a lot of problems too, and I think he's not happy with the way things are going.
So he wants things to get better.
Yeah, so I think I'll have to talk to him about it, but hopefully.
Yeah, we'll go home and have a talk to him about it. You know, it's like I said, we're not going to make him do anything that he doesn't want to do. But even if he just comes for one session just to try it, I think he'll be surprised at how much better he'll be feeling by the end of it. So that's really good as well. You know, you're making some real progress. This is good.
Yeah.
Okay, so last one. Some new friends. How could we go about that?
I mean, that one I find really hard to get my head around.
Well, I do have some suggestions.
Yeah, do you have some suggestions?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I know that your faith is a very big part of your life. You know, it's one of the main focuses in your life.
Yes.
Now, there's a lot of local churches, and I'm sure that you have your specific church that you go to. There are a lot of different church groups that get together on a regular basis, even outside of, you know, just your general Sunday service. And those sorts of things are a really good way to be able to meet new people and form those friendships with people that you have the same common interests. You know, you can, you know, go and you can talk about your religion. You don't have to talk about your religion. You can, you know, there's different church groups where it's women who like to gather and do arts and crafts. Or, you know, some of the men will go and they'll go out fishing together, or, you know, there's lots of different activities that these church groups organise that are not necessarily just at church. You know, and I think that would be a really fantastic way for you to meet some new people. You know, at least it's a really safe environment, and it can give you that comforting feeling of your faith and your religion being involved in it. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Does it sound like a good idea?
Yeah.
Again, I'm not going to make you do anything that you don't want to do, but I'll print out some information for you and some different group organisations and their names and phone numbers and email addresses. And just give them a call. You know, they'll be able to give you all of the information, the specifics of the different events and stuff that they hold, and hopefully we'll be able to get you in somewhere and get these things sorted. Now, I know it's a lot of information to take in all at once, but this is just an exercise to be able to put things into perspective for you.
Yes.
So what we'll do is, I think we'll start off with getting you into a bigger house. I think that's a big one at the moment. I think that once you get into a bigger house, you'll be able to breathe a bit easier. And then that's one thing ticked off the list, and we can move on to the next one.
Yes.
How does that sound? Sound good?
Yeah.
Okay,
definitely.
wonderful. Cool. All right. So I think that it would be a really good idea if you come back in so that we can keep the ball rolling and keep you motivated to do these things. So I'll come out with you to reception. And we'll organise a date and a time, and we'll go from there.
Okay.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you for coming in.
Thanks.
See you later.
Bye.